Mapping artwork to 3D objects. So when we utilize our Revolve or Extrude in Illustrator, we get a flat colored object. So we can add our own artwork, or what we would call map our two-dimensional objects onto this three-dimensional object's surface. So fairly easy to do. What I have here is a logo that I'm going to apply to this vase. So number one thing we have to do is, if we want to map our artwork, the artwork that we want to use has to be converted to a symbol. Fairly easy to do. All we need is to select all of the pieces that we're going to map or place on our object. Locate our symbol panel, which happens to be little clover. I can actually go under window and find symbols here as well. Okay, and so to create a symbol, it's as easy as grabbing those selected pieces and dragging them into the symbols panel. You will get a symbols option box that pops up. The only thing that you need to do is make sure that type is set to graphic. This is the type of a symbol, and we need it to be a graphic symbol in order to place it on our three-dimensional objects. And I'm going to name this also logo. It's always a good idea to give descriptive names. Click OK. And now I can go ahead and take this layer and turn it off because I don't need that anymore. Onto my vase. So I'm going to select my vase, and in order to do any editing to this effect, I need to go to my appearance panel and double click that effect of 3D Revolve. Okay, and by default preview is unchecked. We always want to make sure that's checked. So we're going to use this button right here, Map Artwork. And this is similar to, a label on a soup can where you get the surface, it will wrap around. So when we're in map art, it depends on the type of three-dimensional objects that we have, because some of the three-dimensional objects will have more surfaces than others. So we need to choose the surface which we intend to map the art to. We also have to select our symbol. So right up here in the symbol list arrow, we are going to choose the symbols. The other ones that we see here happen to be ones that were already in my symbol panel. Illustrator comes with a lot of symbols. There are a lot of symbols offered for free on the internet. So you can really build this library. But for now, I just want to use my logo. And here it is. This is the one I just defined as a symbol a few minutes ago. All right, and so now as far as the surfaces go, for this revolve on the object, I only have 4 surfaces. It says 1 of 4. And I happen to place my logo on surface 1. You can see a little bit of an outline here. This little grid indicates the surface of where I am placing it. So I actually am seeing the back part over here. If I were to put my logo over here, you wouldn't be able to see it. And if I slide it, eventually you'll start seeing it come around. Okay? So this is as though I took it and laid it flat, wide open. So now, once I click it, and I do have editing capabilities here. I can scale it. Remember, if you want to keep the proportions, you want to hold down your Shift key while you're scaling it. So I'll go ahead and scale it maybe a little bit smaller. You can also scale it larger. Again, reposition where I want it to be. And there it is. Now if I navigate here with my arrows, I can choose a different surface, and I can place or apply another symbol on a different surface. When I click, notice that I see a red grid here. That's the surface that I have selected right now. So that's surface 1, or what Illustrator is calling surface 1. Surface 2 happens to be the top, right up here. And I could choose to put something up there if I wanted to. Let's say I wanted the little butterfly. Ooh, too big. So I need to make sure that I scale this down. Again, I'm going to hold Shift as I drag so that I don't distort it. And what it actually is it looks like it's the inside. You can see that my symbol is being placed right there So chances are it's kind of an inside area that you're not seeing very easily. Surface 3 is just the little rim, very small, and so is surface 4. So with this Revolve, there's really not a lot. I'm going to click OK, and there you can see, and you can see my little butterfly right up there, tiny, along with the logo. So now if I had something, say a cube, and I wanted to show this cube has a gray fill with a black stroke. Let's, instead of revolve, let's go ahead and extrude this. Preview it. So notice with the black stroke, I get black sides. Okay, so that's kind of an interesting thing to remember if you have a stroke. If you don't have a stroke, it's just going to have it all one solid color. So we'll make some sort of a cube here. Let's see if we get maybe around 150. And I'm going to click Map Art. So again, I can choose whatever I want here. Now this is my first surface. I have 16 surfaces on this one. And again, my logo is quite large. Let's scale this down to fit on this surface. There it is. Okay, so then if I navigate, watch what happens. I'll slide it over here. On what surface? You can see the red outline indicating that that's my front surface. Now I have 16 of them. This is my back, the back side of the cube, which if I rotate this, I would see it. This is the side over here on the right. This is the bottom. This is the left. This is the top. And now I'm on the inside of the cube. This is the inside. So this would be the surface that's behind this surface, as though I was inside of this cube. Will I ever see it? Not with my caps on. You know, as long as it's a solid shape, I don't. Now this, you would use the inner surfaces if you turn to caps off, making your end points hollow or your end caps hollow, then you'd be able to see the inside of the cube. So pay attention. I know a lot of people think, well, you know, at this point, this one looks like this is my top, when in fact it probably is the top but the bottom. So you might have to test if you can't understand, don't really know exactly, is that the outside or is that the inside? You might just have to test with that. So let's go back and let's test it ourselves. So this we believe to be this side. Let's try to put something on here, maybe the green apple. And guess what? It's not, because I don't see it. So let's go back and try a different one here. There we go. Let's try that again. And there it is. So you do have to be cautious of that. And look, it's the wrong way. So I can rotate this as well. Okay, so you're going to play with it a little bit to understand how that works, but very cool concept that we can map artwork onto our three-dimensional objects, just as we did here.